Hello, Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends. How are you? I hope you are all fine and enjoy the winter season. But there is a little problem regarding your flowering plants. So, I will discuss with you how to protect your flowering plants in winter. So, my dear friends, there are a lot of questions in your minds and confusions regarding flowering plants, regarding their care in winter season. Are you worried about your flowering plants in the cold winter season? As the winter season approaches, many flowering plants begin to slow down their growth and enter a dormant state. Cold weather can harm or even kill flowering plants since they are not as cold hardy as certain other types of plants. By providing them with protection them the cold, you can help them survive the winter and return to bloom in the spring. In this video, I will tell you about some tips to how to care for flowering plants during the winter season. The first tip is provide proper light. Place your plants in a bright south facing window where they can receive at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day. If your plants don't get enough natural light, you can supplement with grow lights. Rotate your plants regularly so that all sides receive equal lights. Second is reduce watering. During winter, most plants require less water as the soil takes longer to dry out. It is important to avoid overwatering. Regularly check the moisture content of the soil and water only when the top inch seems dry. Next is maintain proper humidity. The air in your home can be drier in the winter, which can stress your plants. To increase humidity, you can place your plants on a pebbles tray filled with water. Fourth one is protect flowering plants from cold winds. Keep your plants away from cold winds from windows and doors. If you live in a cold climate, you may need to bring your potted plants indoor for the winter. Fifth one is use fertilize. It is important to provide a layer of new soil before the arrival of winter, allowing flowering plants to easily adjust to the changing conditions. Fresh fertilizer should be used as it will nourish the blooms for the approaching spring. Flowering plants don't need as much fertilizer in the winter as they do in the growing season. Reduce your fertilizer frequency to once a month or even less. Next is keep clean your flowering plants. Dust that has formed on the leaves can block their pores, making the respiration process more difficult for the blooms. Clear the pores of any dust and other harmful substances. Next is trim away any unnecessary dry leaves and reduce the other unwanted stems. This is an important step in keeping them healthy and clean. Eliminate dead or damaged branches which can invite the diseases to your flowering plants. Next point is which is very important, use room temperature water for watering. It is better to nourishing the plant the room temperature water rather than cold water which can shock the roots. Now my dear friends, I will share you some important tips about special flowers in the winter season. Certain types of flowers need a special treatment like lilies. Lilies require mulch and more mulch. It improves the fertility and health of the soil by helping it retain moisture and keep a stable temperature, reducing weed growth and enhancing the area of visual appeal. Orchard thrive in high humidity and Canadian winter can be very dry, so increase humidity around your orchard is very important. You can achieve this by placing the orchard on tray filled with water and pebbles or using a humidifier. If the indoor temperature drops significantly, you may need to provide additional heating. Be caution not to expose orchard to direct heat source. Next flower is hydrangeas. Some hydrangeas varieties produce flower buds in the previous growing season. Avoid cutting back the stems in the fall to protect these buds from winter cold. Next is transition your plants slowly. You cannot just bring your outdoor plants inside and call it a day. If you suddenly bring them inside where those conditions are different, they may go into shock, and this can kill a plant or at least make it sick for a few weeks. There are two ways to make the transitions, and it all depends on what type of plant you are moving. Bring shade loving plants inside every day for a couple of hours. Extend the time a little each day until you get to 6 hours of continuous indoor time. For sun loving plants, move them into a shady area like under a tree for around 2 weeks. After their time in the shade, move them inside. No matter whether you have a shade or full sun plants, you need to trim back some growth around the time you start make this transition.